absolutely has to be worked on going into year two?
Well, there's a lot to unpack with Caleb Williams. I think that if you just watch his tape from a year ago, some concerns are just his ability to sort of have a feel in the pocket. He had a tendency to step up when there was no need to step up. So what that would do is it would bring him closer to the offensive line and the pass rushers. And so he created his own pressure at times. And obviously, he's just not a guy that saw it as cleanly as you'd like, so he held the ball too long. But think about this, Colin. You watch a ton of college football as well. And this is not a test question, but let's throw this out. What do quarterbacks in college never do, most of them? They do not huddle. So now you're with Ben Johnson, okay? He's essentially a rookie now, Caleb Williams. You almost have to forget about what happened last year, because now what he's learning is he's learning very wordy play calls that have a lot of alerts. Sometimes there's two play calls that are built into a particular verbiage, and then there's shifts, there's motions, there's all kinds of things that he has to learn just to get from the huddle to the line of scrimmage with a reasonable amount of time on the play clock, so that when the shifts and the motions happen, he has time to see how the defense responds. This is the operational part of playing quarterback that he's never really done before, not to the level that Ben Johnson demands. So we have to start from there before we even put him on the field playing in a real game. So there's an awful lot to learn for Caleb Williams. So this is almost a rookie season all over again. As a pure talent throwing the football, he's phenomenal. But before you get to that, there's so much more that he has to learn. And I hope people understand that that's going to take time.
What have I been saying for literally months and months and months? If I had even any of the energy to go back, I'd go find those clips. But man, this is literally what I've been saying. This is literally what I've been saying since midway through the season last year. That, like, throw away everything last year. None of it matters. This is a mess. And that this year is going to be essentially his rookie year. People don't like to hear that because no one likes to change their mind and they reach a conclusion and, like, that's it. But it's interesting, though, because I'm not going to rehash my take because this is what I've been saying a million times now, and especially recently, especially over the summer and when Ben Johnson got here. And I said, this is going to take time. This is going to be tough. Caleb is going to struggle. I already made another video that's going to be posting around the same time, but it was with First Things First. And the question was like, expect Caleb to struggle? And I was like, yeah, that makes total sense, etc., etc. And I had posted the video now about where Colin was kind of talking about Caleb struggling and how Ben Johnson spoke so positively about their backup quarterback. And this is what people keep confusing. And people try to call me out for that take. And they're like, oh, this is misleading. Colin's taking things out of context and whatnot. And it's like, it's okay to admit that Caleb is struggling right now. People are trying to deny that reality. And they're trying to say like, oh, people are just trying, the media is trying to hate on Caleb. Last year, Colin talked about this, and Colin knows better than anyone else in the media, really, considering he's worked at multiple networks, he's worked at big networks, small networks, he's worked at two massive networks, and he's incredibly powerful within that industry. So he's getting information that, maybe like four other people who are in sports media, who are also the people who are talking and creating, actually on TV and stuff, are actually getting that, the level of information that someone like Colin is getting. He talked about how the NFL wants Chicago to be huge and Caleb Williams. That it's such a massive media market that the NFL is like, please Chicago, please Caleb, please be great. If you can be great, there's just so much money to be made. And the media knows it too. The media wants to keep talking about Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. There is just so much more content and engagement there than the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Cleveland Browns, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just a fact. The Carolina Panthers. It's just an indisputable fact. So this idea that there's now this like collective effort to try to paint Caleb Williams in the negative is it's actually kind of absurd. And it's just not true. So it's okay to say, yeah, Caleb Williams is struggling right now. And that's okay. It makes sense. It's understandable. Like Greg Cosell could say better than ever I could, but this is what I had been saying. And what I've discussed a lot as well, which I'll just quickly say, is that like there's a real possibility that Caleb Williams doesn't work with Ben Johnson because of what Ben Johnson is asking Caleb to do. Not all coaches demand or ask their quarterback to do what Ben Johnson wants Caleb to do. And like Greg Cosell said, Caleb's pure talent is extraordinary. And that's why I then said, Caleb, if he does not work with Ben Johnson, I do believe that ultimately a coach will find his way with Caleb and he will have a lot of success. And I still think that he can have success with Ben Johnson. But based off of those comments that I heard from before, it was like, it's, doesn't feel that Ben Johnson's going to try to do everything and anything he could to necessarily make a Caleb Williams work. That Ben Johnson will be more of the school of thought of like, get me a quarterback that, that can run my system, that can run how I want to run an offense. That is why you hired me. To bring my mind to this franchise, to this organization. That is ultimately why you hired me. It was not to bring out the best in Caleb Williams. You hired me to be me, not for him. That's like, coming from a Ben Johnson perspective here. And Ben Johnson clearly has more power than Caleb Williams. If they give this thing a 2-year runway, let's say they give it 2 years from this point on, and it's not working, they will absolutely undeniably move on from Caleb more than they will say, we're firing Ben Johnson, we're going to get another coach. That's just the way it works. So no one's actively rooting against Caleb Williams. Colin Cowherd would want nothing more than every single week to be able to say, oh my goodness, Caleb Williams is taking over the NFL. First off, he lives in Chicago now. And he would love it to be able to say, the Chicago Bears are leading the division. They're the number 2 seed in the NFC, competing for the 1 seed. He would love that. Everybody would love that. A Chicago Bears playoff game, massive ratings. A Chicago Bears team that is actually competitive, competing with the Detroit Lions, who were the most popular team last year, had the most ratings, would be massive. We know how potent this division is in terms of the history. The Bears, the Packers, the Lions now. Like, in terms of like recent competitiveness. It's a ratings gold mine. An absolute ratings gold mine. So make no mistake about it, man. There's no conspiracy against Caleb Williams. Because people are saying, oh, he wasn't talking about slop. He was talking about the O-line was slopping. He was talking about the second stringers. No, Caleb Williams has not been perfect and great in practice. He has not. There's been some issues. That much is widely and respectively reported. It's okay to admit that. It really is. It's okay. We don't have to deny a reality. That's definitely one of the more frustrating things that I observe with fans. They want to reject certain realities. When if they could accept the reality and then take a Greg Cosell approach, or what I've been saying for literally months, like, yeah, it's okay he's going to struggle. Like, people see it as like a cop-out or as like a it's an excuse. Like, Greg Cosell comes in here and says, guys, this is essentially his rookie year. He has to learn so much. Let's chill out. And then people automatically go, oh, he was supposed to be a generational talent. He was supposed to be the best quarterback ever. Oh, the excuses. It's unbelievable that people don't understand that players need to develop. Like, I really did have this aha moment, this aha connection that I think I really do believe paints the picture as clear as you can. So many people believe that these players just get better just because. Or that they just have to practice, as in like like there's a target there and I just got to keep trying to throw it and hit that target. And the more I practice, I'm a little bit off, but if I just keep trying, I'll slowly get over there. Or that it's like puberty and it's just like, yeah, I'm going to grow up to be 6'5" and have to shave one day. When I'm 20, I'm not there yet, don't really have a full shave, but as, the years pass, once I hit 23, 24, all right, now my beard's like pretty fully grown in, great. And then it just like happens. No, it's not. Not only do you need to practice, you need serious coaching and development. You need time. That's what we're witnessing here. And it's awesome. Start to fall in love with coaching. Start to value the importance of coaching. Never in a million years did I ever think that I would be this person who's trying to plead with people of the importance of coaching. I mean, it's kind of crazy, honestly, because especially when you're younger and you're up and coming and you're trying to compete and you're trying to play, you want to play, you want to ball. I want to make the teams. I want to go as far as I can. I want to go pro. And the idea of coaching, I don't want to coach. I remember I was one time, when I first heard of the idea that I could coach, I immediately rejected it. And I was like, I don't coach, I ball, I play. Like, miss me with that. And now in hindsight, I'm like, oh man. When I was like 20, 21, 22, like I could have found myself in some like pretty interesting programs. And like, I could have been coaching. Like could have been a coordinator, could have been this, could have been that. Like I should have maybe like actually stepped away from playing and focused more on coaching. I remember one of my last years playing for a team. I was like, my mind started working in that, and I was trying to tell the coach, I was like, what we should do is we should do this, we should do that, and this, that, and he just was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was just like, I should be pulling the strings here, but it was a little too late, and I had, no pull. But like, this is part of it. This is part of it. There's a reason why these players don't typically just step foot on the field and then just dominate. There's a reason why these coaches get paid an insane amount of money. There's a reason why each franchise, each team has like an army of coaches. I mean, think about how many coaches are part of a team in any given moment. Why do you think these NFL players, you watch Hard Knocks, for those of you who never played football, you could at least see it on Hard Knocks. You see that so much time is spent in these meetings where they're going over film, they're discussing, they're talking. It's not just running drills. It's not just there's a target, keep trying to hit it. And you're just, the more you practice, the closer, the better you get. It's not how it works. There's real development that takes place here. Real development. And it's different than some of the coaches that you may have had when you were younger, when it was just some guy's dad. And they were just like, all right, guys, come on. Remember, keep your hands in. Power comes from your lower body. It's like, yeah, okay, great. What else you got for me? And Caleb's getting a crash course. And like Greg Cosell said, like, this is not something that he's had to deal with in terms of what Ben Johnson is asking him to do. And we're going to find out if it's a type of offense that someone like a Caleb Williams can succeed in. And if he doesn't mean he's inferior, doesn't mean that he's not good enough, doesn't mean that he's bad, doesn't mean that he's a bust, doesn't mean any of those things at all. At all. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Chicago Bears? How do you feel this is going to work out? Do you think it's too early to worry about Caleb? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.